Good morning, friends. Welcome to Multiverse, and today we are going to discuss about the aliens and what is the easiest way to communicate with aliens. Is it something that we can do using our technology? And have we already been contacted by aliens? We will be discussing in today's session more so about the signal that we have received from outer space, which is now known as the wow signal. So I'll be back with more details after a very small break. Don't go anywhere. So, friends, we already know that the quest for searching for alien is very, very important. When I say alien, it is the extraterrestrial uh, beings who are found not on Earth but from outside the Earth. Basically, the aliens who do not exist on Earth. And we believe that the universe is so vast and it is filled with so many Earth-like planets. There could be chance that the other life forms would have evolved and would have attained the level of intelligence like humans that we have attained on Earth. And therefore, it is not right thinking that the humans are the only life form available in the entire huge universe. And therefore, it is very important for us to understand. Now, you may ask why it is important for us to look for the aliens. So first of all, we have to know exactly what is going on around us, and it's a quest. It is a quest where we would like to also understand our surroundings. Maybe the extraterrestrials have friendly nature. Maybe they will come and do their exploration, come to Earth and find out more about our culture, art, and our society. Maybe they are hostile. Maybe they are not interested in any of these conditions. We need to know if there are extraterrestrial beings anywhere else other than Earth, whether close by or far off. So that is why it is a quest to understand. I think we realized this way back in 55 and 60s, and a new department was formed called SETI. SETI is search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, when I say intelligence, it is basically means that we are looking for technologically advanced being who are maybe more advanced or at least as advanced as humans, so that we know exactly what they're capable of. Because now we presume we have enough evidence that there is life everywhere, even though we have not found any evidence so far, but there will be life, there would be conditions suitable for life to evolve. And that therefore the scientists now believe that the universe may be teeming with bacteria and viruses and small life forms, but the quest is to basically search for intelligence, and that is why SETI was formed. And the easiest way to identify if there are aliens is basically catch their communication signals, because similar to what humans do, we have mobile phones, we have different kinds of communication devices, and we are able to communicate far between humans from far flung areas, even from space, even from moon, and we can communicate. So the easiest method of uh, identifying the alien technology is by looking at their radio signals, because that is the easiest form. And you know that looking at far off objects is not easy. We need very specialized telescope. And then traveling is even more complicated. Traveling between one planet to other is it's not easy. And therefore the easiest method is to look at the radio signals which are emanating. For example, if human society is sending their TV broadcast and radio signals that we talk on day-to-day basis out in the space, because while we are getting radio signal and TV, it is actually also spreading into the space. So in future, if intelligent alien civilization catches our signal, catch our broadcast, then they will know exactly this is where the radio signal from Earth is emanating, and that means it is a sign of an intelligent human civilization. Similarly, we should be able to also get that signal if they are intelligent, because they must be using it for communication. And then why radio signals? I mean, that is a big question. The radio signals are the natural frequencies which are generated by the objects that exist in nature. So therefore, it is very easy to generate radio signals, because radio signals has been used by human beings for last at least 200 years that we know of, maybe older, without knowing. So radio signals are naturally generated by the material, by the different elements. So it's very easy to generate radio signals using electromagnetic forces, and generate these signals which can travel out in the space. And radio signals can be traveling for very long distance, because they don't need any medium to travel, unlike the sound waves. So sound needs a medium like air or water to travel, but radio signals can be generated and can continue to travel for long distances. So I think that was the easiest method to look for the alien civilization without basically investing a lot of money in building large optical telescope and placing them in the space, etc. So SETI basically, using this logic, invested heavily in the radio signal telescopes. And then they actually had a lot of volunteers working for them. And there was one such volunteer, his name was Jerry R. Heyman. He was a scientist working at Ohio State University. And the Ohio State University had the radio telescope, which is known as Big Ear Radio Telescope, and he was using it. He was also working as a volunteer for SETI, and as part of the responsibility working as a volunteer was to basically examine the radio signal data and evaluate that and find out if there are anything exciting coming through the radio, if the telescope is catching some intelligent radio signals, because radio beams are coming from all sides in space, and there are different frequencies and all that. Now, what we were looking for is basically a narrow band radio signal, because narrow band. Why narrow band? Because to generate narrow band, you need to apply some energy, and to get that energy, you have to have some sort of intelligence built around it, so that you know exactly at this frequency we will be able to send out the signals. Now, the other thing is that Jerry R. Heyman then identified one such signal on August 15, 1977, while he was going through the data, and he found that in the radio signal space, this signal was dubbed as 6EQUJ5. And when he found this signal, this looks like a complex signal, and because everything else was in zeros and ones. So when he was examining this data, he found that this is something unique, and definitely it does not look like a simple natural radio signal, which is emanated by large celestial objects like black hole or large stars or neutron stars. So while examining, he wrote this wow next to on the paper when he found this signal, and that is why this signal has been dubbed as wow signal, because this is for the first time was in a narrow band, and it seems to have originated from the constellation of Sagittarius. And definitely after 40 years of research, we have found that this signal has definitely come from artificial sources, not from the natural occurring phenomena like neutron star or black hole mergers, etc. So definitely there is some sort of anxiety and intrigue around this signal, and that is why this is called wow signal. And the signal lasted for 72 seconds, and it was in the narrow band. That means there has to be some intelligence uh, creating this wow signal. And definitely it has, scientists have eliminated all sources, earth-based sources, or even other naturally occurring sources, and eliminated all of them, and they have confirmed that this is definitely from some extraterrestrial civilization. However, this signal was never repeated. This has not been repeated. Even though scientists have also checked their instruments very thoroughly to check any glitches or any wrong signal they would have received, but they have found none. And this is also in the range of 1420 megahertz. Why 1420 megahertz? Now I will explain that to you. Basically, as I said, that the radio signals are generated by natural elements, and if you apply certain energy to these radio waves, you can actually control them, you can fine tune them, and you can use it for your own purpose. We already know that the radio signals are playing a major role in our society in development of human race. We have internet, we have television, we have radio, and we have walkie-talkie, we have mobile phones, we have sonars. So everywhere these natural occurring frequencies are enhanced using extra energy like electricity or magnetism, and then used to generate the enhanced frequency in certain range for a meaningful communication among humans. So scientists believe that if we have to look for extraterrestrial radio signals, we should be looking at 1420 megahertz. Why 1420 megahertz? Because this is something which is generated by a natural hydrogen. So the assumption is that if there are extraterrestrial beings, intelligent beings somewhere in the galaxy, somewhere in the universe, they would be able to generate these frequency using hydrogen, which is the easiest thing to do. Hydrogen gas generate 1420 megahertz, and it is easiest thing to do to generate these radio waves for long distance communication. So if there are extraterrestrial who are traveling across the universe, building their space stations in different solar systems, etc., they would need to communicate back with their home planet, and therefore the easiest way to generate radio signal is using the hydrogen natural frequency. And that is why, if there are, and these frequencies can travel very long distance, and now scientists can also measure if there are blue shift or red shift in these frequencies. So blue shift basically means that the source of these radio signals is moving towards Earth, and red shift would mean that it would be moving away from the Earth. So based on that, we can find out the exact location from where the signal has originated. So this is something which is the background of the wow signal which we have received in 1977. Again, in 2022, early part of 2022, in January, we have yet again received another signal, and this seems to have originated from Andromeda galaxy, which is coming towards Earth. So scientists are saying that this is the second wow signal which we have received. A lot of research is going on, and all the parameters that scientists have laid down in order to search for extraterrestrial radio signals is being met by this new signal that we have received. And again, this signal is not repeated. So the technology is also advancing. Our instruments are also becoming more sensitive. So if there are any natural causes for these high frequency signals, long lasting signals, non repeating signals, we will be able to distinguish and eliminate them, including the original wow signal, if there are any natural causes. But so far these radio signals are considered to be extraterrestrial in origin, and definitely by some technologically advanced civilization which is sending these signals. Now, the second signal that we've received in the month of January, scientists believe that it looks like a SOS signal from an advanced civilization, but I think more research is required. So I think this is something which is very interesting, and I thought I'll talk about the signals that we are receiving from the space, and these signals are very very interesting. And without traveling long distance, we can actually identify if there are civilizations which exist who exist in our galaxy or somewhere else in the universe, and it will be very interesting to communicate with them using the long distance communication channel like radio. However, there are a lot of confusion around whether we can have meaningful dialogue, simply because the radio signals has to follow the laws of the universe, which is radio signals cannot exceed the speed of light. So if we receive the light, we will also receive the radio signals. So that means that the speed at which we can understand this radio signal is dependent on the speed of light, and therefore the distances are so huge in our space. We may not know whether these signals, if they are coming from millions of light years away, those people will be still existing. So I think these are some ifs and buts in this whole theory, but I think overall this is a very exciting area. I thought I will talk about this in the multiverse. If you have any suggestions, any comments on this subject, feel free to send in your comments. And thanks for watching today's discussion, and I will meet you next week again in multiverse. Until then, I like to say goodbye for today.